Hey, hey, y'all. It is your girl, Sean LeRae, and we are back. Y'all know it's Wednesday, and what time is it? It is Boss Talk time. So, because I have a new theme song and because I absolutely love it, I'm going to play a little bit of it for you all tonight. For anybody who hasn't been here in the last few weeks, you may not have heard it. So, I'm going to play it for you right now. And away we go. Here it is. Shout out to Wayne Lindsay and Alana Lindsay because they hooked this up. So y'all go ahead and groove to it.
Boss Talk. It's time for Boss Talk.
Oh, one of a kind.
Boss Talk. It's Sean LeRae. Boss Talk. It's Sean LeRae. Boss Talk. It's time for Boss Talk.
Oh, one of a kind.
Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. It's time. Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. Sensational superstars.
Oh, one of a kind.
Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. Sensational superstars.
Oh, one of a kind.
Boss Talk.
So I'm very excited to be here with you tonight, and I have a great show planned for you. As always, but this show is super extra special because on this show is my godparents. And I'm so excited. So if you're out there and you're on right now and you're from Toledo, Ohio, send the link to somebody else that you know from Toledo, Ohio, because this is going to be like old school. We're going to talk about some great things. You know, this is the end of Black Music Month. So we're going to talk about Black music in the 50s. We're going to talk about the war on women. Get ready for that because that's going to be a little bit controversial. You're going to meet my godparents. And I am so excited because I have always loved my godparents. My godfather is like a cool dude in a loose mood, you know what I'm saying? And he does just a little bit of everything. They are like this Renaissance couple. So stay tuned. You'll know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we're trying to get me to 500 subscribers, y'all. So we are at 166 right now. So I'm going to need y'all to share this link. Tell your people to subscribe because that's how we do that. And get me 500 subscribers. Won't that be exciting? So I also want to tell you that we have, so I know y'all know this, but I have a band and it's called Black Silk. That's Blaque. And we have a gig coming up and that is July 22nd. So if you are in the greater Los Angeles area or surrounding areas, please stay tuned to find out. We are going to have an art show with historically world-renowned artist, Emmy Lou. And we're going to be at his gallery at 418 South Clark Street in Beverly Hills. So I need y'all to come. There's no cost. We do want you to buy art. And do know that the proceeds, a portion of the proceeds, will go to my nonprofit, my 501c3, in honor of my late husband, William Joseph Brinkley. And that is the William Joseph Brinkley Center for Cultural Affirmation. Because as a culture, we need to learn how to affirm ourselves because the world is not going to do it for us. So with that note, I want to tell you about my godfather. So first of all, his name is Warren Woodbury and his beautiful wife is Yolanda. And they hail currently in Toledo, Ohio. However, they have lived all over the globe. They have lived in Atlanta. They have lived in Chicago. And they are entrepreneurs. They are authors. And you'll get an opportunity to see some of their art because they are also artists. And my godfather is all about education, learning, uplifting the youth. And so he actually has a chess school. So y'all stay tuned. And you're also going to get to hear a little bit about my daddy. So are y'all ready to meet my guest tonight on this fine Wednesday? Without another word from me, please, Boss Talkers, welcome Warren and Yolanda Woodbury, my God folk. Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's up, lady?
How are you?
We hanging in there. We above ground.
Yes, we are.
Well, that is a good start. That is a very good start.
Yeah.
So I'm so excited to have y'all on tonight. You don't know what a treat this is for me. And Boss Talker, stay tuned because you'll see what a treat it is for you as well to get to know these amazing folk. So tell the folks a little bit about, let's see, well, about you. To start out with, just tell us a little bit about you, Godpapa.
Okay, before I do that, I don't know if you know the arrangement between me and your father, and he made me the godfather. The deal was that if I had to, I would have to take care of you. Okay? But in the small print, I put in there that if something happened to me, you'd have to take care of me. So guess who's coming to dinner?
I love it. See, and I'm sure you did probably write that in there. One thing I always remember is you have been making me laugh since I was an itty bitty little girl. And I love that. I love that. So how did you and my daddy meet? Tell us that first.
James went to Libby High School, and I went to a rival school, Scott. You follow me?
Yeah.
And back in those days, on every corner, there was a doo-wop group. You follow me? So we would hear each other, and he would say, "Hey, you got a spot for me in your group?" And they would switch singers. It's like the Five Heartbeats. If you've seen that,
yes.
Okay, that kind of conflict with people in and out, in and out. So anyhow, he ended up in the group. I don't know who should be credited for the group, but we came together with James Williams, second tenor, Clay White, first tenor, Isaac Bourne as a bass, and me as lead singer.
Come on. Yes, and y'all were called the Barons.
Yeah, we called the Barons, right.
Now, how did you all come up with that name?
I can't even remember. I wish I could make up something, but I can't remember.
Wow. Well, okay. Well, I've always loved the name.
Okay.
And I'm so, you know what I didn't do is I forgot to pull up the photos that I wanted, but I can get those. I can get my producers to help me get those.
All right.
But, so y'all started this group. Now you were in high school. So were
Yes,
you?
all of us.
Everybody was in high school. I remember that because I remember, if I recall, some of the places that you guys performed, you weren't even allowed to be out in front.
Yes, they had a place called Tate's. Was a black and tan. They called it black and tan, but it was owned by the mafia. Okay.
Get out of here.
So what happened? We had just won the Horace Heights show at the sports arena, and Horace Height had a program where he toured America, and he decided the winners would go on tour. But because we were in school, we couldn't go. So somebody said, "Come sing in this club." So we went to the club, sang, and the guy wanted to hire us. But the rules were we had to stay in the back. We couldn't even have a glass of anything on the table because we were all underage.
I love it. I love it. So, okay. So here's one funny thing I remember learning, because once I got into trouble, and so my grandmother told me, much to my mother's chagrin, because she was not happy that I knew this story, because of course I used it often, but how my parents met was when you guys were singing, and you guys did a matinee so that, I guess, so your friends could come.
Okay.
And so in that matinee, my mother was not supposed to go that night. She was supposed to have gone to study at Marlene Taborn's house. Shout out to Marlene Taborn, who was her best friend. And they ended up at the show, and you know the black newspaper, the Bronze Raven.
Right.
So the Bronze Raven took a picture of mommy, and she ended up on the cover.
Oh,
And so when she came home and told my grandmother that she did not go, my grandmother kindly set the newspaper right next to her, and she looked, and there she was. So it was kind of like busted.
Yeah. There was a lot of situations where the daughters had to tell a little fib to hang out with the street boys.
Yes,
They were
indeed.
always going to Bible study. Or, they were always going to do some homework. You follow me? So we're used to that.
Absolutely. Uh-oh. Well, Mr. William Seals, one of our regular boss talkers, says, Warren, you have a beautiful wife and you're a handsome cat.
Oh, tell him thanks. And he read it just like I wrote it. But tell him we've been married 44 years.
Wow.
44.
That is impressive. That is impressive. Well, I want to know about like what, because one of the things we always end up talking about on Boss Talk is relationships. So how is it, what advice would you give to some of the folks who are out there trying to get to where you are? How do you stay married and happy? Because you both look happy and good.
Yeah.
How do you do that for 45 years, 44 years?
I got my point of view. I just looked at her and decided that I had enough of running out in the street, bar to bar. I lived in Birmingham, Alabama. I lived in Atlanta. I lived in New Orleans. I moved to New York. You follow me? And that's where I met her, in New York. Her story. Here she is. Go tell them why. Why?
Go ahead.
I will tell you, we've had a relationship for as long as we have because he's never made me feel fourth class. Okay. I've always been the one that he has been interested in. If we go out, it's not anyone else he's looking at. As a matter of fact, I'll say, oh, look at that lady over there. Isn't she looking good? And he said, don't show me any woman. I don't want to see anyone else but you. So he's always kept it that way, which makes you feel secure instead of insecure.
Yes. Oh, I love that. That is important. That is so important. Yeah.
I have family members who say that their husbands had a roving eye all the time. So that insecurity was big time. And I've never felt that at all with him.
Wow. Go on, Godpapa. I see you over there. So in other words, he's always made you feel special.
Yes. Yes.
See,
and then
so
we're both strong personalities. And so, there has been moments where we have a disagreement, but we still know that we care for each other and that we're there for each other. So.
Yeah. And when you have those disagreements, what is the key to not letting it go to a not so good place?
Let the sun come up the very next day. And you're back in love and everything.
And like they say, you sleep in the same bed. No one's ever slept on the couch, so we don't even go there with that.
Yeah. So it's a decision, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm going to tell my couples about that because I'm a licensed marriage family therapist. So I see couples all day, every day. And I tell you some of the things that they bring to me. I'm like, and y'all actually had a fight about that. Like, really? Come on now, stop. Yeah. And I'll yell at them. I yell at them. And one of the guys I said yesterday, I said, now that's really stupid. And then I said, please don't tell anybody. And I said, shut up. And then I said, please don't tell anybody your therapist told you to shut up and called you stupid. And they just laugh. Yeah. They love it. Hey, Mama Donna. Donna Earl says, great family history. Such beautiful couple that are blessed. Absolutely.
Thank you, Donna Earl.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and I see you the other night, Donna Earl. Thank you for rolling through the going away party. Donna, we had a going away party because my bestie is leaving and going to Texas. But I'm gonna be all right.
Okay.
Because they have those things called airplanes and all of that. Oh, let's see what the other folks are saying. Hey, Connie, welcome back. She says, welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Woodbury. I love that story too. He only has eyes for you. Yes, I love it. What does Chantel Denise say? This is my bestie, y'all. She says, ooh, that's powerful. I don't want to see anybody else but you. That's a thing. He has character. Yes, I love it. She says, that's a great man. Absolutely. And thank you for showing up. She said she had to be there. So, okay, so y'all have been married for 45 years. Now, 44 going on 45, I guess, right?
Yeah.
You're close.
So now you guys do a lot of stuff. And so I know that you have in common the art, right? Because you're both artists.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So those are your pieces behind you.
Yes.
Those are Warren's pieces.
He's
really the Energizer bunny in this relationship. I'll tell you. I have to run from him at times. He's got so much energy. He just wants to do. But I'm an assistant. I play behind the scenes and I help with a lot of things, and I enjoy it. Especially
I love
with
it.
this program, helping the students use their brain. I love it.
Oh, so I want to go back to that because that is really good. But what I love what you said, because you guys are like the yin and the yang. Like one of you has all the energy and the other one is kind of the laid back. And I think that always happens because you attract, opposites attract. Like, could either of you imagine being married to someone exactly like you?
She's asking some really important questions, right?
Wait, phrase that again.
Could either one of you imagine being married to someone who's exactly like you? Like, could you imagine Godpapa being married to anybody that was like the Energizer Bunny like you?
No.
And could you imagine being married to somebody as laid back as you are?
I'm a Scorpio, he's a Leo. So if you know anything about those two signs, you'll know what we're talking about.
We had to come to an agreement because sometimes the nature of each one of us is right at the table.
Okay. And so you have to kind of step back a minute and look and see what's really going on, huh?
Yes. Because I say, in my book, I say, would a lion come back to the cave and fight with his mate and his family? The lion won't do that. Wise humans do it.
Ooh, so that's good. So let's get into, well, wait, I want to go back. I want to go back to the art.
Okay.
So tell me about the pieces behind you. And were you were always an artist? Because I think I remember back in the day, like you used your art to decorate the store, didn't you? The checkerboard.
Oh yeah, as best I could. I doodled, but I could draw, but I couldn't paint. She can paint with oils and whatever. So I used to try to use her paint, and she said, "You don't do my brushes right. You left the top off the paint. Here, take this and go." So she'd give me her little pieces of raggedy little brushes and stuff like that, and so I just made the best I could with what she gave me.
I did. He
You did the best with what you had. Huh?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Was he making a big mess out of all your goodies?
So anyone knows you can't leave acrylic paint on a brush. You have to clean it off. But he would do that. So I said, okay, if I can get these going, you got them.
Yeah, or else you have a brush that you could knock somebody out in the head
Oh
with.
my goodness. Tell me about it.
Stab them with it, yeah.
I love it. William says he is probably a great chess instructor because he keeps his queen right by his side.
Yeah.
Good advice for people who want a long relationship.
Good,
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, let's talk about that because I absolutely love that. So Godpappy has been sending me pictures, and I know that you had a school that brought their kids to you guys for the chess training. So tell us about the chess. Is it a school?
It's in a school. We've been in the school for 11 years. We started at a community center, and the superintendent of the school came by and seen our efforts, and he asked us to come into the school. What happened, we used to teach Black history, and we used to teach art, theater.
Wow.
And I had a chessboard sitting beside my desk, and the kids thought it was checkers. So I said, let me show you the game. So we showed them the game, and they just latched onto it because a lot of people said, oh, Black kids, they're not going to know this game. That's what the principal at the school we went to, she said, chess is not going to work in this school. We won 100 trophies. We won at the highest level in the nationals, 3,600 kids, 1,500, 36 states, 1,500 kids. And our little boy took second place.
So we took 3 boys, came home with 2 trophies, and it was fabulous. We didn't think we'd come back with anything other than experience.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. So they exceeded even your expectations.
Yes.
And the girls did too. We went to the Ohio State all girls, and for the first time, 3 Black girls won the Ohio State all girls, our girls. We went back next year and won it again.
Yep.
Come on.
That just silenced them, So now I got 5 schools that come to us to learn chess. Black, white, Chinese, whatever.
And it's more than just chess. It's about socializing. It's about the boys understanding girls come first. It's about saying thank you. It's about other things. We feed them, okay? And they have to learn the manners, how to eat. You'd be surprised how many kids don't even know how to toast bread, But again, we show them so many and wash the dishes. We make them wash their own dishes. I said, no maid service here.
Ooh, I love it.
Girls.
She went
So
out
you
and
guys are using chess to teach life skills.
life. She went
skills.
out and bought some units so that each of the kids can make their own McDonald's. they got their own little
The egg McMuffin, you put it in the
McMuffin.
microwave.
Yeah,
We
all of
had
them.
taught them how to do that. They didn't know how to do that. So again, we're teaching them life skills because that's what's more important.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing about chess is that it's using your mind
Yeah.
because you need that to get along in life, to get your job, to get your
Yes.
whatever you need to use that mind.
But-
And
Absolutely.
But we messed
So
with
you're
them.
teaching critical thinking.
Yes.
We messed with them because we had them, about 12 of them. We put them into an onion cutting contest.
oh, that was so funny. Oh, that was so
and
funny.
they didn't have no anticipation of what the onions would eventually do.
Crying and still cutting. I loved it. I said, oh my gosh, it was so funny.
I love that. I love it. And so tell me about the Black History piece.
Well, for Black History, what we do is we did an African style dinner for the kids. The
Ooh.
menu was all in Swahili, but it was just saying mac and cheese, fried chicken, green beans, but it was on an African pattern, and we put on dashikis. We bought dashikis for all the kids, and we sat in the big chair with the crown and everything. It was really good.
I love that. Well, you
Yeah.
know, that's so important too, because probably outside of that in their schools, if nothing has changed in Toledo, Ohio,
As it,
they are not teaching anything about Black history,
No.
except that the month of February is dedicated to Black History Month. And then what do? When I was in school, they used to show us pictures of Africans dancing. The women had no tops on with paint on them. And as the only Black child in my class, I was like this because everybody turned and looked at me. I
yeah,
went home, and you know what your boy did? He
What?
showed me that we were kings and queens in Africa. And that's how I learned it. So I'm so glad to hear that these kids are getting that from
Yes.
you guys and the
Yeah.
schools, you know, and it's
They're trying to catch up, but you know, even in colleges now they're taking away Black history. So
exactly.
it's sad.
Yeah, but we are an issue with them. But because we're so connected to the superintendent, all our chess kids are woke.
There, I
Woke.
like it.
You
I
follow me?
like it.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we show Black movies, whatever. Our kids are woke.
And they get to discuss what they see and that sort
Yes.
of thing.
Yes.
I love it. I want to come home and see.
You're
I am
welcome
going to try to get there.
anytime to come and visit us. You are
Yes.
so
I'm really looking forward. I'm going to try to get out there in August.
And our wonderful superintendent Romulus Durant will introduce you to him too. He is really
I
fantastic.
would love that. I would love that. I just love what you guys are doing. So tell me about the authorship, because I know that you mentioned a book and I know that you've written a book. What's the name of your book?
For we are strangers.
For We Are Strangers.
We are strangers. Because basically, the concept in religion is that men and women are strangers. Because a lot of people believe that women just was an afterthought by God. You know,
Ah,
if God snapped his finger and said, Adam, I got something for you, you know, and just like one of the comedians said, he asked God, is it going to take care of my problem? God said, yes, she'll take care of your problem. You know, but it's a man-made creation
mhm.
story. And every religion has that. The concept of women being second class as an afterthought, you know, that's in about 10 major religions. And two things are universal. War is always going to happen, and abuse and violence to women. Those two will always exist.
Wow. So now I also know, now y'all listen, let me tell you about my Godpapa. My Godpapa is a busy, busy man. And how old are you, Godpapa? You don't mind telling, I know.
I don't mind. I'll be 86 in August.
In August, he will be 86 years old. He has a podcast. He is an author. He has a chess school. He's happily married. Like, come on. They're Renaissance folk. I'm trying to tell y'all. So tell me about, because I know that you have your podcast, and on your podcast, you talk about the war on women. Am I right?
Right.
And it's called, I love the title. It's called Girls' Night Out at the Mall.
Yes.
So tell us about that.
Okay. Girls' Night Out at the Mall is that God looked down, the Christian God, and said, enough of this. I did not put woman on earth to be abused, second class, be sold, to be traded. That's not my purpose. So God revisits the earth and he finds three women that gets the blame. Pandora, Eve, and Lilith. And he said, ladies, let me holler at you, because man is off the hook. That it was not my plan. And so he lets them loose on poor Adam, who tries to defend. I might not get away with it. He tries to defend the number 45th president. I ain't calling no names, but this attitude about women, and Adam quotes biblical writers that said that women are the worst thing, they're evil, all kind of references. In the Torah, they just bury women. They said the Torah would be better to be burnt than to let a woman read it. You follow me?
Wow.
In Christianity, a woman can come to church, but she must be quiet. That's the way they interpret it. But that was not the reason that she should be quiet in church. Women were coming and they were speaking in tongues and they were interrupting the service. So that's where they said they need to be quiet and learn from their husband. But they interpret that as the religion says woman's supposed to come and be quiet in church. You follow me?
So they took that little tidbit that was in the Bible and twisted it and misinterpreted it.
They spun it. Even the concept about covering the hair, they said cover your hair because you're exciting men. Some religions say cover your hair, cover your ankles, cover everything. So my concept is, why would you worship a God that created woman and then expected you to cover up with a burlap gunny sack? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
This don't make no sense. So God said he had to come down here and get this stuff straightened out. You follow me?
And so he met the ladies at the mall.
He met the ladies at the mall. And they had never been in the mall. Adam was at the mall, but he was down in the garden section looking at apple trees.
Now picture that.
Yeah. But he didn't know the women were there. He wondered, why did God bring me back to the 21st century at a mall in Toledo, Ohio? But in the meantime, Pandora and Eve was looking through the window at shoes, 6-inch shoes, like in your closet. So Eve said, those are beautiful, but my husband would never let me wear them. Lilith, who refused to come to the mall at the time, said, would you let your man tell you what to wear? She said, who are you? She said, I'm Eve. She said, Eve, what's your husband's name? Adam. And Lilith said, like Adam and Eve in the Bible? She said, yes. So no wonder you let man get away with telling you something and you bought it hook, line, and sinker. So they argue back and forth, and they all know that they're to blame because Pandora and Zeus and Christianity and God, they created the woman that caused the problem. Pandora was sent to earth. There were no women. And she was sent to earth with the vase, the base, whatever. Mm-hmm. And when she opened it, all the evil stuff blew out. In Christianity, Eve was sent to earth. There was no women. Animals and Adam. Same story, but different periods. And so there's two gods that know that they created this evil, people said. Zeus and God in Christianity created woman. So if you think that God created an evil woman, then you don't believe in God.
Come on now. That's right. That's right. So I love this. So your book, so tell us the title of the book again.
For We Are Strangers.
For We Are Strangers.
But I got so many typos in that book. She hand did the book when we lived in the Caribbean. We lived in the Caribbean for 20 years. And we put the book together, and I didn't proofread it. So somebody looked at the book and said, oh, he got an apostrophe there. It's supposed to be a period. It's the thought that counts. It's the story.
I love it.
I emailed you the link for his podcast.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. So I think if you say the thought that counts, and in this day and age, you could put it somewhere, get it redone and remaster. They call that remastering. So let's get that done.
I had offers for that.
Yes, absolutely. We'll talk. We'll get it out.
Let's talk.
Hey, Trish. Trish says beautiful. Trish loves it. I love it. Thank you so much, Boss Talkers, for tuning in tonight and meeting my godparents. Isn't this a treat? So Okay, so Godpapa, how long have you had the podcast?
I've had it with iHeart and Spotify so far, and I
Okay.
just getting it started. And I know it needs more work. I need to get it out there more. I was on the Michael Collier show, and
Yes.
he did a whole thing Michael said, "What is this war on women?" But he had a woman on the show. She said, "Yeah, there's a war on women." He said, "Every day we out here fighting for our rights,
Exactly.
our
That's
body, our education, economics." You follow me? So woman is just an easy target, and right now is the highlight of the abuse of women. In European countries, they're rounding up young girls, 12, 13, 14, putting them in vans, shipping them to various countries. In
absolutely.
Africa, Boko Haram goes in and kidnaps 300 young girls. They take them back in the jungle, abuse them, then they sell them to Chad for $1. So when you say ain't no war on women, I don't know what country you live in, and that's
Absolutely.
everywhere. And
Hmm.
then look at this: in Islam, the concept of heaven is that if you blow yourself up or whatever, you go to heaven. And what do you get when you get to heaven? 72 virgins.
What in the
So,
world?
so in my book, I said, wait a minute, God running a brothel? 72 virgins? What do you do with them when they're no longer virgins? But that's their reward. Christianity's reward is the streets are paved with gold and the land is of milk and honey. Well, milk and honey and gold was valuable in Egypt. You follow me? But
Hmm.
just imagine, and in Hinduism, when you go, you can come back. You can come back in another form. And other religions have the same thing. They have their own concept of heaven, and artists has shown you the concept of hell. That's where you know about hell. Michelangelo and they painted the fire, Dante's Inferno. They painted Jesus. They painted God, muscles, gray hair, nose. And when you look at that, you say, wait, whoever created this, there's no way that creator needed a roll of toilet paper. But they got him looking like a man. I mean, and we buy it. You know, I don't want to shake nobody. I don't want to shake nobody's belief. I'm just saying that if you have good in you, do it. But don't. You can go to. If you were born in China, you'd believe this. If you was born in India, you believe that. And if you was born here, you believe that. You're born in the jungle. African religion is really humorous. They got jokesters.
No, which one is this?
Some African.
Okay.
They got jokesters who trick the people, tricksters. But he's a representative of God. So they can take it and do what they want to with it. So what they're doing now is even Christianity, Presbyterian, Baptist,
Baptist
Lutheran.
was just in the news where they were excluding women. You remember? Just last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Women can't teach. They can't preach. So I said, if I was a school teacher, I said, okay, I'm teaching math. I'm not going to have no male students. I'm teaching science. No math. No male students. It don't make no sense. It's just really, to me, it's a little twisted. You follow
So
me?
you're saying that all these different religions have this particular interpretation of women that leaves them as the underdog, and you're saying that's not God's intent.
Couldn't have been. That's why he's at the mall.
Getting things straightened out, right?
He's trying to straighten them out.
And think about it. In the Bible, it says a woman is unclean for 60 days if she has a male baby, but 90 for a female baby.
Yeah, how's that fair, huh?
And not only that, these are the people that I'm going to tell me where God is and what God wants. They thought the world was flat. They thought a woman that had twins slept with two men. They don't know what's at the bottom of the ocean. And I'm going to let them tell me what Peter and Paul said. Paul had problems with himself. Paul didn't like the fact that Jesus had any women around him. You follow me? So they just throw that out the window and bring you what they want to bring you. But women are here to stay. Without them, we will not exist. So God had a plan, but he back at the mall though, because things ain't right.
Getting it straightened out, because we done got it all twisted up, right?
Yeah.
So he's here to get. I love it. So I have a question for you, and here, y'all, Boss Talker is right here on the screen right now. You can see where you can get the book and learn more about what we're talking about. It is For We Are Strangers by Warren Woodbury on Amazon. there's the link. You can just click the link or save it. You can go back to it at any time. And so you got it right here. All right. So I have a question. How do you come up with these concepts? Like, I always am curious about how writers who are creative like yourself come up with these ideas.
Well, this one here, when I lived in New Orleans, I had a clothing store right off of Canal Street, one street over from Bourbon. And when Mardi Gras come, women catch it down there. I mean, they dragging them down the street, they gorilla pimps and stuff. I mean, and you can see them getting beat and you can't say anything. So I started collecting articles that was in the Louisiana paper, New Orleans paper, about the violence against women. And it was just escalating. And then I started collecting these articles and I found out this worldwide. You know, I got file cabinets worth of all religions, how they treat women, and how they all agree that one thing in common: women are not to be in charge of nothing. The children, their economic, their own body. And America now is taking it to the nth degree. You follow me? On the board for women's health issues, it's men, pharmaceutical companies. When they come up with the little blue pill, I have Lilith read all the things that can happen to you from taking this pill: heart cramps, whatever, headaches, stomach, abdominal pain. You can die from it. But still, men say, I don't care. I got to have this pill. You follow me?
That's the pill that they say if you have an erection for over 4 hours, go to the emergency room.
But I have in the book that for those 4 hours, the little wife is huddled under the bed waiting for when it goes down. She's afraid to even go to the bathroom because there he is looking, where you at? You know, for 4 straight hours. So what they did, they just come up with a little pink pill. You know what that one's for?
What?
That's to make the women more pliable. Believe it, it's fact. There's a pharmaceutical company that come up with a pink pill to make women more pliable. But that sounds like date rape to me. You follow me?
I'm sorry. During COVID, we had a few people working in the hospital said they never had a stoppage of the pills for men during COVID, but like cancer pills and other things, there was a shortage. Yeah, but not Viagra. They didn't.
Wow, that's very telling right there.
Oh my gosh,
very telling.
Yeah,
that's even scary.
It is scary. It should be, you know, because like the 2 paintings in the back, the one on my other side, that's a woman in pain.
You're right.
Yeah, that's the road. It narrowed behind her. She's got 2 or 3 kids, no job, might be pregnant again. She got some illnesses, whatever. There's no way out for her. The one you can't see with the madam with the sunglasses over here on the other side.
There
you go. That's Adam and the 2 women. Adam thought he was going to get one. Eve bought a friend. She bought Lilith. There's a snake wrapped around Adam. He got big problems. He couldn't deal with one woman. How are you going to deal with 2?
I love it. And so
ideas flow. I'm sorry. You go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go ahead. You say.
I said ideas just flow from this Energizer Bunny. He just comes up with everything.
I can see that, Yolanda.
I'm waiting to come to California because somebody said this is a movie. Adam, Eve, and Lilith, and versus men and God on the women's side. How can they lose?
I see it all.
Yeah,
I think you should definitely come. And I have some creatives on the screen here. Somebody needs to hear this, and y'all get your brains to turn and we can come up with something. William Seal says, chess actually took my baseball talents to a whole nother level. I had to explain my logic to my teammates in order for them to understand my decision making in the outfield. That's another idea about how the game of chess can be applied in so many other areas. I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
And William Seals, there's a video on YouTube about our famous basketball players playing chess and how they equate it to the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. We're going to look that up. Yeah, what did Connie say? Connie says, he's fascinating and entertaining. I told y'all.
Connie, I'm on 24/7. I'm on stage. I don't care where I'm at, you know.
Well, that's a good segue. That is a great segue. So I am going to share my screen. So y'all bear with me because now we're going to talk about the entertainers. Okay, let's see. What am I doing? Sharing my screen. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is. Now, what am I doing? I'm going to download it. What am I doing?
I see it.
There
I
it
see the image. BB
There
King.
it is.
Yeah.
Okay, can y'all see that?
Yep. Yep.
Definitely.
All right. So Lucius Huntley presents May
Yes.
Queen Popularity Contest and a star-studded show. Now, Boss Talkers, if you can see the top left, there's, well, my top left anyway, there is Harold Connor. He's a vocalist with the BB King band. Next to him, with the signature over top to Alice, BB King, and it's BB Blues Boy King. Then we got Gatemouth Brown on guitar and vocals. And over there we have the Diablos from Detroit, the El Toros from Toledo, the Climbers from Toledo, the Co-Eds from Detroit, the Quail Tones from Detroit, the I don't know what that, the Swans from Toledo, and at the very bottom is the Barons from Toledo.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show y'all, if you can see my cursor right there is GodPapa, and right there is my papa. That is James Williams right there. And this was their group, the Barons. Now, this is the group that they started in high school. This was Tuesday, May 29th. And where's the Civic? Was that in Detroit?
No, it's in Toledo.
That's in Toledo. The Civic was in Toledo.
Yeah, BB King came here, and the reason we work with so many entertainers, they had to have, in the town they were traveling to, they had to have some opening acts. So they would always choose somebody that they thought could complement the show. So that's why we would open for Ray Charles. That little writing the BB King, that's to my mother. He wrote that to her. You follow me? And so we had people like that we would open for, you know. So
now I am going to see if I can find the other photo. So where are some of the other places that you all performed?
Well, we after one of the promoters saw our show here, he booked us into Chicago in 1955 at the Crown Propeller Lounge with Sonny Stitt. If you know Sonny Stitt, he's progressive jazz. We're doo-wop. We dance and do the chicken and whatever. So Stitt wouldn't. We got there, Cottage Grove, 63rd and Cottage Grove. We got there. We checked into the Strand Hotel, and there was 50 police there busting for drugs. We were scared to death.
Oh my God!
We still in high school, but when we got to the club, Sonny Stitt wouldn't give us no rehearsal. So we would sing something like a romantic song, and he would come up. We couldn't dance. We couldn't do nothing. So the only way that we got a rehearsal, the drummer and our bass smoked weed. And the drummer said, look, I'll get the piano player to come in and we'll give you guys a little rehearsal and we'll jazz it up. He said, but we can't do nothing about Stitt because he is not going to play no rhythm and blues. He's not going to do none of that stuff. He's going to do what he do. So that's the way the show went for the week. You follow me? It wasn't easy.
Oh, wow. So now I know Sonny Stitt. I remember, what did he play? Saxophone. That's what I thought.
Like Coltrane.
That's what I thought. What I thought. So you guys also played with Dinah Washington, right?
Yeah, but that was a guest appearance. She was at, I think, Club de Lisa, and she heard that there was a singing group, so she asked us to come up and sing. You found? Wow. So we came up and sang with her. The Buddy Griffith Band coming to Toledo. We opened with the Buddy Griffith Band, where we opened for Ray Charles, and so they would always. No, Aretha wasn't nowhere on the scene at that time.
Oh, okay.
You follow me? So anyhow, we would just open for big acts. And so some of the girls, we were still in school, and the girls used to say, Warren, who you dating in school? You don't have a girlfriend in school? I say, look, I'm dating barmaids and shake dancers. I ain't got no time. I ain't got no time for no high school girl.
Here's a picture when he didn't process his hair. Let's see if we can see it.
Oh, let's see.
Picture of him.
That's in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
I had a pool
love
table in the living room. My tuxedo.
I
Oh,
think
come on now.
Yeah, I
Look
thought
at
I
that
was.
handsome rascal.
I thought I was all it.
All of that. All of that in a bag of chips. All right,
Yeah.
I have another one for y'all. Uh-oh. What am I doing? Something I ain't supposed to do. I'm hitting some wrong buttons. Here's another one for y'all. So bear with me. I think, yeah, I got it. Okay. Here's another one.
Yeah.
Now, do y'all remember? You remember this one? Uh-oh.
Yeah, that was back. That was back in the back when we first started. We all had processes then.
And there's
Yeah, we can shake our head. Yeah, we can shake our head and it go down off your forehead and come back up. You follow me?
so there's Godpapa right there, and
Yep.
here top. There's my daddy,
Yes.
and I suppose it's easy to tell. And then this is this Mr. Clay or Mr.
No, that's Tommy Jones. He joined and took the boy I told you smoked reefer.
Uh-huh.
He smoked too much reefer. So we had to get another. We had to get another. I said 5-star stuff. We had to get another bass singer, and Tommy was really good.
Got it. And who's this? This Mr. Clay, right?
Clay White, yeah, he's in
Clay White.
He was in California. I think he might have passed. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I remember when he passed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all was looking good there, huh?
One
I
of the
love it. And sharp too. Look at them suits.
oh yeah, we had to change the clothes. We had Bermuda shorts with Argyle socks and everything. There was another entertainer that came to that club, one of the Nicholas brothers, the tap dancers.
Oh yeah.
So he came, and there was a young lady, her husband had passed, and they brought her out to the club to try to get her to get out. So he spotted her. She looked like Lena Horne, so much so that it was rumored that Lena Horne wanted to see who this woman is that looked like her. So in the meantime, he's up there, he's dancing, and he had his eye on her. And the friends with her said, you know, he's interested in you. And the girl said, I want that boy that was just singing.
Okay now.
She's 6 years older than me. I mean, my high school was interesting. She was 6 years older than me, and I moved into the house. You follow me? So I've experienced various levels of female companionship. But this is my queen.
and it's never bothered me, like I said, because he's still, since we've been together, so those stories never bothered me. That was his life.
Yeah.
And so again, he's always treated me where I was number one. So
You're the queen. That's right. I love it. I love it all. Well, I know some of those stories. Like I said, the one about when my mama met daddy.
Yeah.
Right there at that club. I think that one was at Mr. CW's place.
Okay.
On the east side.
Okay.
Where down the street from my grandmother's house, actually.
Okay.
And I use that story a lot because when I turned 16 and got my first ticket for running a red light due to speeding, that's when I learned that one, when my mother was like, she did this and I can't believe she did that. And my grandmother was like, well, I remember. And then I was like, oh, I got some ammunition now.
Okay, yeah, right. I can balance it out. One thing I will say that back in my day, some people caught it and some people didn't have any big problems. We were fortunate. We didn't see a corner with flowers and balloons where a young kid had got shot. We didn't see none of that. In our neighborhood, there were women on the porch that knew our mother, knew our grandmother, had permission to pass a lick. You follow me? So what they do, they put people in 40 floor buildings with no porch. Can't see nothing but hallway, elevators, anything can happen. So we had the protection of the neighborhood women that would say, don't do that, stop doing that. You follow me? These
That's right.
kids, they don't get that. So the memories are gone. We remember a lot of women and we were respectful. We had drive-bys, but they would drive by and say, hello, Mrs. Jones. Hello, Reverend so-and-so, and keep driving. Nothing
That's
like
right.
that. And I really feel sad for the kids that will not have that memory.
You're so right. And running around and having to be in by the street lights and
Yes,
getting caught down at Miss So and
yes,
So's house while the street lights was coming in. Well, your grandma, your mom already knew by the time you
yeah,
got home.
yeah.
She late.
You're right, right. And what mystifies me is how them mamas could look at me and decide that I am not going to get their daughter. How did they? What vision did they have?
Yeah.
I was a teddy bear waiting for somebody, and they said, "No, that's one with it. No, you're not going
No,
nowhere."
you're not going nowhere with him. That's
Yeah,
right. That's
you
right.
work in a nightclub. You're not going
And I'm
any.
sure James Williams had that same
Yes, we
reputation.
all had it. We
Queenie
all,
Mae's boy.
yeah, yeah.
That is so great. I love this talk. I love it so much. So you have lived a full life and you are continuing to do just that. And I love it. It looks good on you, Godpapa.
Thank you, lady.
And you look good with your beautiful queen godmama right next to you.
Thank you.
I love it. I love it. So it's getting close to the end. And I always ask my guests to share something that they want to leave the boss talkers with. Some words of wisdom, whatever you think you'd like to share. Both of you, actually.
Well, for me, I think you have to be aware of the fact that it's up to you to do the right thing. You don't need no guidance. You don't need no book. You don't need no people like on the news telling you this, that, the other. You got to look into it yourself and make decisions. We've given up that right now with social media. We just get hooked into some opinion, and we just take it and run with it, and we don't research it. We don't look no further. I mean, even today, just think for 1 minute that God meant for women to be abused, that God meant for black people to be enslaved, for the nation to be told, don't be woke, don't know your past, don't know your history, and to even support that, and to support people like 45 who has broken all the rules, you follow me, and still want him to lead a country, you follow me? It just doesn't make any sense. So I'm just not a follower. I'll follow her. But other than that, I'm not following nobody else. They're going to get me out there marching and talking about this, that, and the other. A lot of women are being mistreated. People of color are being mistreated. And I don't leave out white people. They're being mistreated. We all are victims. We just got to turn it around.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's up to you to do the right thing, Boss Talkers. Godpapa said it himself right here on Boss Talk. So Yolanda, please let us know what advice or words of wisdom you have for the Boss Talkers tonight.
Well, what is the age range with your boss talkers? I'm curious.
Oh, well, we have on here everybody mostly in our 40s, 50s, 60s around in there.
Okay.
And Mama Donna, late 70s and fabulous.
Okay.
So, yeah.
My word is, again, what you're doing now to spread the word and information. We need our older people to spread the word to the younger people. They still have to vote. People died, didn't even know how it was going to go to get that right to vote. Yes, it doesn't always go our way, but for women and for men, we still got to go out there and do that. Do that. Don't listen to people tell you, oh, don't vote. No, vote.
That's
use that power that you have, because we have it and we need to try and use it. So the older people tell the younger people, please.
Yeah, that's right. Use the power that you have. I like that. Let me see if we can get that up. And spread the word to the younger people about the need to vote. Yolanda Woodbury. That's right.
Thank you for that.
One political statement here. Only one. This next election is going to make or break America. My concept is, I would hope that Kamala Harris, I love her to death. I would hope that she would go into education, head of education, and put Hakeem Jeffries in as the vice president, because they are already attacking her. They don't want a black woman as even the thought of being a president. So if we fall for that and leave it like it is, and leave the ticket like it is, they are ready to destroy her, destroy black women. Hakeem can talk. He's a second coming of Obama as far as aggressiveness. it would mess up their whole plan to have a Biden, Hakeem, Kamala Harris, education, vice president, because even if Biden don't even make it, if Hakeem gets in the driver's seat, they got a whole lot of hurt.
Come on.
So I'm contacting all the Democratic headquarters. It's nothing against her at all, but she would be great in education, and he would be good if he had to step into the saddle. You follow me?
That's right. I do hear you. Y'all heard it here first, Boss Talkers.
Yes, yes.
Let's see. Wisdom by Warren Woodbury. There it is. Political Wisdom by Warren Woodbury. I like it. I think that's a good podcast.
And I love you as host. My goodness, you're doing a fantastic job, Sean. Thank you so much for having us on. It's been
absolutely.
I know we don't have time, but I got a question right here. I said, tell me about the famous Williams family athletes, because all of y'all was that. Your brothers, Henry and Roger, were fantastic.
Yes, they were.
Shirley, and you with your little skinny legs, y'all can move. You follow me?
Yes, indeed. So that's the first thing he said to me when he talked to me on the phone was, "Hey, skinny legs." I told him skinny legs and knobby knees. That was my history, y'all. Yes, I did get to follow in Aunt Shirley's footsteps on the Rogers High School girls track team. Hall of Famers. That's right. That's right. Good. Yeah. Daddy was like, my daddy was too pretty to play football. He was like,
I told you that. I said, James was not about to be on no grass running and jumping.
No. Yeah. But yeah, and we had another musician too, Uncle Allen, who was the older one. He was an actor. And then we had Uncle Roger was a country singer. He chose country music because the R&B scene wasn't giving him no love. So he went country, and his name was Chili Will. So shout out to my cousins Cricket. Oh my God, it's 100 of them. Lynn, Cricket, Mark, of course, Junior or Roger Williams Jr., Reverend Roger Williams Jr. now, by the way. And Shirley's kids, we knew them by Marty, Loopy, and Sneezy, but their birth names are Marquita, Lawrence, and Lori.
Okay.
And Marquita is right here in Cali with me. And Lawrence lives in Dubai, and Lori is in Toledo.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's see. Oh, and I do want to give a shout out just before the show started tonight. I got a phone call. Literally before I went on the air, from my cousin Larry Mack. And it's sad that when the phone rings like that and you haven't heard from somebody, the first thing you think is something has happened. And so I want to shout out and give love to my family, the Mack family, part of the Williams Mack clan. And just say rest in peace, Aunt Chris. Christine Mack made her transition today, and she was a beautiful, beautiful woman. And I'm thinking she was possibly 94 years old. That's my guess. I know she made 93. I remember that birthday. So at least 93, 94 years old. And just rest in peace, Auntie. And now you're up there with the other beautiful blonde bombshell, my mama, because that was Mama's road dog. They were always together in Toledo there. And so I love you, family, and my heart is with you as we honor the life and legacy of my Aunt Chris, because she was beautiful.
Let me ask you a question. You called off a lot of names, but I didn't hear nobody named Junebug. I thought every black people had a Junebug. We had a Junebug. They were always trouble. I met some people and they said, "Yeah, they from Chicago." Yeah, we had a Junebug.
Junebug is like Pookie now.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Junebug was always trouble. But I want to shout out to Michael Collier, who gave us a good boost on his show.
That's right.
573. That's the issue and the number.
The episode number.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Michael Collier podcast, episode
573.
573. Y'all
we
go
come
there.
On halfway in the show, then we come on.
Right.
And do just what we're doing now.
I love it. Well, you keep doing that because you're good at it and you ought to be doing it. And I love that you are showing folks that 85 ain't nothing but just good
A
times.
number.
Yeah.
All that. It's just a number. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. And let's see. Dr. Jaffney said, rich creative legacy.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you.
And my condolences. Thank you, sis. Thank you so much. Well, Boss Talkers, that's our time for tonight. But please send some more love out to my godparents, Warren and Yolanda Woodbury from Toledo, Ohio, and all other places that you have been, New York, Chicago, Detroit. I love it. And I'm going to get home next month in August and shout y'all out. And once again, Boss Talkers, one last shout out is that you can go to the WJBcenter.com. That is the William Joseph Brinkley Center for Cultural Affirmation. And that is my new 501c3 in honor of the late William Joseph Brinkley. And we are doing our first fundraiser. Black Silk is going to be back at it. And so come in and hear us do our thing. Get some amazing, innovative, beautiful, culturally aesthetic art by the world-renowned artist Emmy Lou, and have some good African food. Emmy Lou is from Ghana, and we are going to have a great time in Beverly Hills on July 22nd. So if you are in the Los Angeles area, please come to 418 South Clark Street. It's right off of the corner of Olympic and Beverly Hills, and hear some good music from the soulful stylings of Black Silk featuring Sean LeRae, and eat some good food, have a good time, and buy some beautiful art. We'll be giving away a print, raffling it off for $5 a ticket, y'all, and a portion of the proceeds go to the WJB Center. So go on there and find out about what that's about. And y'all, next Wednesday, we will be right here, right back at you. I thank you so much for being here with us on this Wednesday, because you could have been anywhere, and I'm grateful you chose to spend the time with us. So it is your girl, Sean LeRae, and y'all know what to do. Live loved, and shalom, y'all. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.